Spoiler alert, the following podcast includes discussions on film that may potentially, intentionally or inadvertently, reveal plot twists, character traits, story details, up to and including endings that might otherwise be considered spoilers. Proceed at your own risk.
You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Sounds like some bad movie.
We're doing it live.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Welcome to Moviesucktastic.
Oh, where we get people telling us that we suck as well. We've had we've had some comments on the YouTube videos, the ones that actually get through lately.
I mean, the whiny bitches that complain that we're not showing the movie.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Anyway.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree.
This is episode number. Which episode, Joey?
219.
219. If you're watching this from a link on the Facebook page, I got the number wrong.
No, you didn't. It's right.
I said 220.
No, the number's right.
Okay.
It's because I fixed it. Just play along.
Oh, never mind. What am I talking about? Well, you didn't tell me.
I did tell you I fixed it 5 minutes ago.
I didn't hear that part. Anyway,
so what you're telling me is you don't listen to me.
I'm Stinking Scott, and this is
Doughy Joey.
Doughy Joey, and we're doing the Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Doughy Joey, is that an Italian thing?
No, it's an actual Garbage Pail Kids card. I did searches for actual Garbage Pail Kids cards based on our names.
So Doughy Joey looks like what then?
I don't know. I don't remember. Most likely he was being rolled out, but I just picked it because it was either that or it was the best one out of all the Joeys in Garbage Pail Kids collection. Believe me.
I'm betting he's a big giant fat guy.
No, he's just kind of doughy.
Are you saying I'm doughy?
Yes, I'm saying you're doughy.
Fuck that shit.
And I'm stinky.
Doughy Joey. Let's see.
Switch to Snotty Scotty because I figured that was too easy.
Oh, well, at least you're not doughy.
Want to bet? Anyway, yes, we're reviewing this episode. We're reviewing the Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Okay, it's the Pillsbury. It looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy being rolled out. So you're correct.
It's not Garbage Pail Kids the movie. It's the Garbage Pail Kids movie. Official title, 1987, and we're reviewing this in response to the last week challenge of The Borrower. Because they watched this film in The Borrower for an ungodly amount of time.
It was an unreasonable amount of time that they. And we went ahead and watched the whole thing anyway.
Yes. Well, I just want to point out that in The Borrower, they showed the parents of a girl whose boyfriend is brutally murdered by a dog-headed monster.
Yeah, the one that's in the band.
While they're half asleep watching the Garbage Pail Kids movie, and I think I would rather, in hindsight, I think I would rather be brutally murdered by a dog-headed monster than have to sit through the Garbage Pail Kids movie again.
Yeah, this is a bad one.
I got Holly to watch it with me, and we only made it halfway through.
So you watched the other half on your own?
Yes, I did. A half a bottle of wine was not enough. Halfway through, she's like, you know what? I can't take this anymore. No, let's stop. So it didn't make it.
Things like acting, plot structure, even musical score.
The music. Oh, that was the worst.
Went out the window with this film.
But when they started singing, even I was agog. It's like, what? Now she insisted that we watch this film in its entirety recently, and I had to remind her, no, we watched it for like 5 minutes, then you made us turn it off. And she kept insisting that we watched it at a bad movie night. I was like, no, we have never watched this at a bad movie night.
No, yes, we have.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we have.
No, we didn't.
No, we absolutely did. I have the video montage that chronicles all the bad movie night movies.
No, you showed all the trailers and people.
No. I put together oh, sorry, Scott, you're wrong.
No, we never watched this.
No, see, I'll tell you exactly what happened. We were supposed to have a bad movie night. This was probably sometime in 2012.
Okay.
No, 2011, because Sebastian wasn't born yet. Okay, so
all right.
We invited a ton of people over, and it rained like a motherfucker. So I had the screen, I had everything set up outside, and it just rained like a motherfucker. It rained us out. So we watched the movies inside. Some people were watching movies downstairs in the basement. You watched Chud and Superman 4 in the basement, and then upstairs, a different group of people watched Garbage Pail Kids, and there was one other film that we did for Bad Movie Day. So
we had 2 separate rooms showing movies?
Yes.
Then that doesn't count.
What do you mean it doesn't count?
Because we weren't all watching that movie.
Well, you, if I remember correctly, didn't want to watch Garbage Pail Kids at that moment and wanted to go downstairs and watch Chud.
Sure.
So it's your fault.
Do you blame me?
But yes, we did have a bad movie night. No, I don't blame you.
Thank you.
We did have a bad movie night, and we did show Garbage Pail Kids. Not everyone was watching it. We had like 15 or 16 people at the house, and about half and half.
That sounds like a poorly managed bad movie night.
It rained. I don't know what you want me to do.
Well, I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying that sounds, it explains my confusion. Okay.
Well, you had a hand in splitting up everyone, so.
Right. So I did not view it at.
No, you did not. My next door neighbors came over and hung out with us. They ended up watching it with the group upstairs. They might not have forgiven me yet. So, but yes, Holly is correct. We did have Bad Movie Night, and Garbage Pail Kids was one of the films shown. And the video montage is on Facebook.
Great. So now every time she claims we've watched a film and we haven't, she's going to say, but what about Bad Movie Night? Thanks, Joe.
Refer to episode... Hey, you brought it upon yourself, sir.
Thank you very much for getting my back on that.
How could I... Listen...
Tell her the next 5 times I'm automatically on her side. Just tell her that.
Yeah, sure. And then hopefully Holly will be on mine. But if I said anything else, it would be a complete lie.
I wasn't asking you to lie. Anyway, Garbage Pail Kids the movie. We're reviewing it.
Wow, you're 6 fingers into a fifth of gin. What's wrong with you?
6. Yeah, I'm on my 9. These are my next 3.
The hell, man.
That kind of day.
We're doing a Strangers tonight?
Yes, we are.
You should be saving that for later.
There's nothing to save, sir.
I love the banner. Look at that.
I just changed it. I always change it when we do the show.
All right. Where's the montage? I know I just posted it not that long ago. Yeah, there it is. Bad Movie Day montage. 20 minutes long. And I couldn't get that on Facebook for the longest time because it's like 20 minutes and 8 seconds. And they're like, nope, doesn't meet the cutoff. I'm like, go fuck yourselves. How am I going to shave 8 seconds off of this? And then YouTube wouldn't take it at all because it's basically 5 minutes of the best scenes of each film.
Right. So where do you want to begin with Garbage Pail Kids as a movie?
With ending the show? We can begin there. I mean, we've used the term razor thin plot before.
Well,
But a
as a
prime example of such is this movie. This is definitely a bunch of writers scrambling to get this done as quick as possible because the expiration date for Garbage Pail Kids cards and people who were interested in that was long gone when they decided to make this movie.
Well, sure. Yeah, and honestly, when you're watching a film, and on the screen you see floated before you a Topps chewing gum production, you know you're fucked. You know it.
Yeah, I never noticed it before.
It's the only film ever made. Well, IMDb says that, and they're wrong because Mars Attacks is also based on a collectible cards. So this is the first film ever made.
Is it from Topps?
Well, I don't think that was Topps, but it was based on a collectible. It was based on a cards, collectible cards.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Mars Attacks. Yeah, the original cards that you could get chewing gum, the whole the same thing. But
was that from like the 50s?
Garbage Pail Kids, the movie, is the first film ever based on collectible trading cards. And Tim Burton's the only one to get away with it, but he had a budget. They didn't have a budget.
They had a $1.1 million budget.
Right, which apparently was not enough for them to finish the animatronics on the Garbage Pail Kid masks, which is why they have virtually no expressional changes throughout the film.
Yeah, at one point, Greaser Greg, his bottom teeth, it looked like they were coming in and out of like a gear that moved them. It almost looked like he had false teeth, because his teeth would pop up and then they'd pop down. It was very subtle, but if you were looking for it, you could notice it. It's like, wow, those are some shitty animatronics.
The only thing worse than that is that Greaser Greg apparently got first billing.
Yeah, he's total. He's like Donald Trump's alter ego. Yeah, I know my chicks. Drink the red and you'll be dead.
I think he got top billing because I think he's the only one that did the actual acting and the voice.
Oh God, really?
Well, because if you look through at least through the IMDb credits, there's no real credits as far as I can tell for the actors in the suits. They only have voice actors, and Greaser Greg is one of the few voice actors that I believe is the actual actor in the suit. At least he's a midget, so I don't know why they get him to do a voice for a midget character if he wasn't playing the character.
Right.
Now, I could almost I can assume possibly because of that all the voices were actually the actors in the suits, so that they were all midget or dwarf actors that were doing the voices as well.
Right.
I almost want to guess that, mainly because there's very little information on these people, and most of them, this was their only film ever, which leads me to believe that it was the actual people in the costumes doing the voices.
And I'll tell you, the Garbage Pail Kids that they chose to be in this movie, you could tell those were budget choices. I mean, I'm just going through the list. I'm just looking at a bunch of different ones, and it's like, yep, too much. They would need a completely different budget to make a different set of characters in the movie. They were all just pretty much, Valerie Vomit. Yeah, we'll add animation vomit to her one time in the movie.
No animation vomit. It was real vomit.
No. There's a shot of her vomiting on the 2, which is real, and then there's a shot that is green screened with animation vomit coming out of her mouth.
I don't know what animation, green screen. Borderline.
Dude,
I wouldn't call it real animation.
Okay, whatever it is, it's not real, and they had to spend a little bit of a budget to get it to look like that. But the thing is, they weren't doing things like that because they didn't have the money to do it. Greaser Greg, what kind of budget do you need for him? You just need the costume. Windy Winston was his name? Yeah. Okay. Air. It just...
Well,
the only other one was what was it? Messy Tessie with the snot?
Well, they're not going to pick Doughy Joey and just have him rolled out through the whole film. You had to have characters that could move around too. Yeah, I'll give you that.
So it was all a budget choice.
Well, sure it was. Yeah.
$1 million bucks, even $1 million in 1987,
isn't much.
Yeah, it's not a lot of money. I mean, you give someone $1 million now, they can make a Pail Kids movie.
Well, apparently they had enough for Anthony Newley. That poor bastard.
Wasn't this his last movie too?
His last film, Anthony Newley's last film, was Garbage Pail Kids the movie.
Whoa! What did he die from?
Being in Garbage Pail Kids the movie.
Renal cancer.
Yeah, this film almost gave me renal cancer.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's like a rare one. Isn't that rare?
I don't know. I'm not up on my cancers. I just know they're bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, it's like you read some of the stuff about behind the scenes, like, oh yeah, Anthony Newley stayed with the film because he believed in it. So, no, he didn't. No one believes in this film. No one did. The set designer believed in this film because he was the only one that actually had a budget he could use. That's it. No one believed in this fucking film. What's his name? The Dodger.
Dodger.
Played by Mackenzie Astin, son of John Astin, and apparently he got the role behind his parents' back. And when John Astin found out he was going to be in this movie,
right.
he tried to get him out of it.
Oh.
He tried to break the contract. Like, no.
It was probably a good thing. Although, I don't recognize him as an adult, but holy shit, does he work? He works.
Yeah. A lot of TV stuff, I think.
Mostly television, but Jesus Christ, he's been working. My God. That is a resume.
Yeah, well, he's the son of John Astin. He's gonna fucking work. You know, it's not
necessarily guaranteed, but yeah.
But you know, it's gonna happen. Especially
he was
these
on
days.
The Facts of Life for 3 seasons.
Yeah, that was the big thing. Hollywood was like, well, what do I recognize him from? So probably Facts of Life.
I don't remember. Well, I never really watched Facts of Life, so that would make. You know.
I watched a little bit of it. I was there.
I was not a Facts of Life kid. I was watching shows like Different Strokes and.
Well, you're a bit young.
What's happening?
You're a little bit younger. I was watching Facts of Life reruns. Let me put it that way.
What are you talking about? This was totally in my timeline.
I'm just, dude. All I'm saying is that I was watching.
I wasn't interested in Facts of Life. That's what I'm saying.
Good for you.
Fuck. Oh my God! You so are into a fifth of gin.
So you weren't into the shows that had a lot of women in them. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like those shows. I like the gayer the better. That was what I was into.
BJ and the Bear all the way.
Totally. Yeah. Fat man and little boy. Man.
Dude, I miss BJ and the Bear, and I can't remember one thing from that show except the fact there was a monkey in it. I remember being fascinated by the show, loving that show. I couldn't explain. I can explain more about Manimal than I can about BJ and the Bear. Man, they had the winning ticket with that show. Put a monkey with a truck driver, the kids will love it. They did!
Yeah.
No idea why. Okay, anyway. So, Garbage Pail Kids movie starts out with a garbage pail in space. Ignore it. It has nothing to do with anything.
Nothing.
And then it moves on to...
I mean, that could have been the opening of The Thing, where it landed 100,000 years ago and was found in ice.
Yeah, they don't really elaborate.
No, because then they would have to tell some sort of a fucking story with a plot.
Right. Now, the kid Dodger, we meet Dodger, who's played by Mackenzie Astin. Now, the one thing I found fascinating with this movie, and actually even more creepy about the film, is that the child actors actually play their own ages. Mackenzie Astin was born in 1973, and he's playing like a 14-year-old. The film came out in 1987. That's roughly accurate.
Yeah.
The actress that plays Tangerine, who we meet when the two kids, apparently these older kids go around rolling 14-year-olds for their lunch money, and somehow they're like the underground crime organization.
By the way, for a split second, I really thought that was Elizabeth Berkley. And if you don't know who she is, she was the lead in the film Showgirls. She was on a show called Saved by the Bell, and she's got the same hairstyle. Look up Elizabeth Berkley from Saved by the Bell, and you'd swear it's the same fucking girl.
I never watched the show.
Even though they had their voices were very similar too. Like when she tells what's her face, she goes, "Can it Blythe? The juice is mine." Where she says that whole sentence, it is almost verbatim, like exactly how Elizabeth Berkley's voice sounds. I was like, I gotta look it up, and it obviously wasn't her, but if this was my film, I know I'd be challenging you to Showgirls. That's just what I would do. But then I'd regret it because it's 2.5 hours.
And I've never watched that film all the way through.
Oh, I saw that in the fucking theater. And you know why I saw it in the theater?
I know.
Were you with us?
Why'd you see that in the theater?
Well, because other people wanted to see it, and it was rated NC-17.
Right. Yeah, I remember. I had Mikey
Way.
I remember him trying to talk me into it at the comic store. Scott, we're all gonna go see Showgirls. You want to go? I was like, no. Why? Because I'm a few years older and I know where else to find pictures of tits. But by all means, you go ahead and watch the shitty film with tits. I'll go watch a film with tits.
You know, I want to say that Mikey...
Not judging, but weighing in with my own point of view.
I want to say that Mikey was not old enough to see that film yet either.
No, but he was going.
Well, because we went to the Royal to see it. They didn't give a fuck.
Well, it's not the law. MPAA is a guideline. It's not illegal. It's not illegal for a child to see that film.
Right. The theater has the option whether to let you in or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
so, and the way the NC-17 works is no children 17 and under, meaning you have to be 18. That's the way NC-17 works, which is very misconceiving because it's it's like, wait a minute, it's NC-17, but I have to be 18? Yeah. Why isn't it just NC-18? What the fuck? No children 17 and under allowed. That's the exact. That is the exact MPAA rating. It's like, fuck you. And they were giving NC-17s to everything, and everything from Showgirls to Bad Lieutenant. We're getting NC-17s to a film called Frankie in June with Fred Ward. That got an NC-17. That shitty movie with Bruce Willis, the one with the Asian chick.
It's not Frankie in June.
It's
Henry
in June.
It's about the poet.
Yes.
It's an art house film. A lot of sex involved. That's why they got.
You know what? It's not very explicit sex. It's just.
It's not. No, it's not. But it's implied, and that's enough for fucking Mormons running that goddamn fucking agency.
And then what was the movie with Bruce Willis where he's like a detective or some shit? Or no, he's a psychiatrist, and he's seeing all his different patients, and there's no way you don't see the ending coming. Like literally, the first second you see the one character you're like, there's no way. Of course, this is bullshit. This is total bullshit. The fuck was the name of that movie?
What movie?
The one with Bruce Willis that got an NC-17 when it was released.
One where he was a psychiatrist?
Yeah. I'll tell you what it is. I'll pull it up real quick.
Yeah, he was a psychiatrist.
But it was awful.
Yeah.
Came out like 95, 96.
That's when he was trying to unsuccessfully break away from the smirky guy mode.
Color of Night.
He actually did.
It was Color of Night.
Color of Night. There you go.
And that one came out in 94. At the
same time, he played the Coast Guard guy.
Striking Distance.
Striking Distance. Yeah, that was that. Yeah, that was that whole Bruce Willis. I want to be I want to be an action star, but I can't escape smirky guy. And he didn't get away until like the Armageddon, Pulp Fiction era. Really.
Pretty much. Well, you can blame Pulp Fiction and Quentin Tarantino for that because
I don't blame him. I thank them. He's excellent.
It put him back on the map.
Yeah, thank God. No, he's great after that. Up until that point, though, he was like, I don't want to be the moonlighting guy anymore, but he didn't know how. In that transition period, it was smirky guy, then who the fuck knows, then badass bald action hero. And right, you know what? When he finally decided to go bald is when he finally shed all that kind of like.
All the inhibitions were gone.
You know what is when he shed the hair, he shed the faux macho and became real macho.
Yeah, I'm on board.
I really think that's it. It was like he was like when I had enough hair, I thought it was kind of smooth, and then I was like losing it, so I'm trying to act tough, but I don't know how. Then like he got over it. It was like it's the opposite of Samson. Once he got rid of the hair, his strength came back. It's like fuck yeah. Then he could kick anybody. Then he was like,
He was on a fucking roll too, because after he did Pulp Fiction, I mean, Color of Night was a shitty movie, but he did Die Hard with a Vengeance, 12 Monkeys. He even did a voice in the Beavis and Butthead movie.
Die Hard with a Vengeance and 12 Monkeys. He lost the hair.
Fucking Last Man Standing.
But he had the hair in striking distance, right?
He had the hair in striking distance,
right.
which was the year before. Year before.
Yeah, and he's never gone back.
Yeah, he lost the hair for Pulp Fiction.
Exactly, and he never went back, and he fucking understood why.
Sure, had no hair in 12 Monkeys.
He spent like a decade fighting the bald spot, and he's like, "Fuck it." He's one of the him and Patrick Stewart are the only two people that actually benefit from shaving their heads instead of just like having hair with bald spots. Really, most people like you ever see the guy you see the guys in the street like, oh yeah, you shaved your head because you're fucking going bald because you're because you can't fucking handle having not a full head of hair, you fucking pussy.
Oh, wow.
There's like 9 out of 10 guys that do that.
Wow, you really fucking hate the follically challenged. Holy shit.
No. What I'm saying is the 9 out of 10 guys who shave their heads because they can't bear going bald are even worse off for it. It's that rare one out of 10 that actually pull it off. The other 9 out of 10 are like just sad. They're like, oh yeah, so you couldn't handle like a bald spot, so you just shaved it, and now you thought that'd make you tough, but you didn't. In Bruce Willis's case and Picard's case,
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart's case, it worked. It was like fucking badass.
That's funny. Man, he was in the sequel for Sin City. I didn't.
And he'll be on Strangers later tonight.
Yes, yeah, your dad is a badass.
But
Bruce Willis was in the sequel for Sin City, which I still have not watched yet. It came out 2 years ago.
Oh, me neither. I never got it. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of over that.
Yeah, I mean, when it came out, it was a big deal, and it was Frank Miller and. Tarantino did a segment. It was good. It was all good.
It was good. It was a faithful adaptation of the comic book, which you didn't get a lot of. And when Hollywood was just finally accepting comic books as they were, instead of trying to turn them into some kind of like family action film bullshit. And it was refreshing and new and great. And then it's like, oh yeah, okay.
And then they let Frank Miller direct The Spirit.
I had you beat like eggs.
Oh, Sam. I would sooner watch all of his Capital One commercials back to back than The Spirit again.
I watched one of those the other day. I was like, oh, you're just like taking all the money you fucking can. But you know what? It's
a popular thing for celebrities to do this, the commercials now.
And I agree with Bill Hicks where he's like, yeah, you're fucking whores. You're off the artistic chart as soon as you start doing fucking commercials. But it's like, well, Samuel L. Jackson, I love him, but can you call him an artist? And yeah, no, not really.
Here's a question for you.
Yes?
I don't think we've really talked about Garbage Pail Kids yet.
Oh shit! That's right. We're reviewing Garbage Pail Kids. So it opens up with.
But anyway, but here's the scene where Dodger is with what's her face?
Tangerine.
Tangerine. That's right. And she's in like the sewers or the basement of whatever, selling clothes. And she takes off her top because she sells it to another girl. And he just kind of sits down. I'm like, you're hiding a boner.
Yeah. It's like, do we have a moment so I can go masturbate? Use the bathroom. Here's my problem with the film where I started getting uncomfortable. The kids are actually the age they're playing.
Right.
But in the case of Tangerine, she's younger than she should be. The actor that played Dodger is born in 1973, so he's like
14 going on 15. 14. Pretty much what he says in the movie, 14 going on 15.
She was born a year earlier. She's only 15 years old in this film.
Wow.
And they're dressing her like a dirty little whore. And using her as sexual bait for this other underage boy. And also she's driving a car. Were California laws on driving that lax back then?
I mean, well,
I don't think so.
I mean, is she only 15 in the movie too? I didn't think so.
I don't care if she is. She's 15 years old in real life. he's the same age, so I'm assuming she's the same age. Because at first it was like, well, why is this like 18-year-old, 19-year-old girl like macking on like a 14-year-old boy? And then we looked up her age. Oh, she's 15. Well, if we're playing by the logic of the film, which is that the actors are their actual age, she's 15. She's dressing like a whore. and
how old was her boyfriend Juice then?
And boyfriend Juice. It has the weird thing. It's like, oh, let me look up the other people. Juice and the other two members of the gang, Moose and goofy-looking guy, their ages aren't listed. They pretty much were like, yeah, fuck this. We're done. So we have no idea what their actual ages are. So,
wow, there's a recent picture of Ron McLaughlin.
Right, but no age.
But there's no age.
Right. So that's weird.
Actually, that picture could be from like 15 years ago, but
let's hope it is.
Yeah.
So that bothered me a bit. First, so if she's 15, she's driving a car. None of these kids have parents. He's 14, she's 15. She lives alone. He lives in a shop with a weird British guy who could be gay.
Oh my God.
Which has no bearing on the situation.
Ron McLaughlin. He's in a documentary about the Garbage Pail Kids that came out this year.
There's a documentary on the Garbage Pail Kids?
It's called 30 Years of Garbage. The Garbage Pail Kids story.
Well, it's probably about the cards and everything too, so he probably just appeared in a section about the movie.
I'm sure, but there's a documentary. Let's make sure we get that across.
Yeah.
There's a documentary about Garbage Pail Kids cards.
I did not come across that.
Oh
well, the cards have been around for a long time, and the artist is well renowned.
Well,
and there's there's a whole thing that the Garbage Pail Kids cards. Let's be clear, they deserve a documentary. The movie, not so much. But
according to the wiki page, which I don't know how accurate it is, there might be a better page about Garbage Pail Kids.
As any wiki page.
It says 85 to 89 is when they had the cards.
They were around a lot longer.
Because if it's 85 to 89 and the movie came out in 87, I don't remember that Garbage Pail Kids not being popular only a couple of years later. Because I remember when this came out, I could swear that it was just like, why are they making this movie? They're completely unpopular right now. Same thing with the He-Man movie, which came out the same year.
The Garbage Pail Kids have never been unpopular. Shut your mouth.
The same thing with the He-Man film that came out in 1987 with Dolph Lundgren, where they also had budget problems, which is why it took place on fucking Earth. That film came out way too many years after the action figures were popular.
Way too many years.
He-Man was popular from probably, I want to say 82 to 85, 86-ish, and that's kind of when it peaked. And then they made a movie a year later. It's like, what are you doing? Dolph Lundgren as He-Man takes place.
Remember when they tried to bring back He-Man as like the futuristic He-Man?
Yeah. So dumb.
And everyone's like, yeah, fuck this shit.
I did a search for Ron McLaughlin, and Kyle McLaughlin comes up. There's no birthday for him anywhere. Wow.
Now, let's be fair, too. The other problem with the whole Garbage Pail Kids movie was that the Garbage Pail Kids were just trading cards.
Right.
And trading cards traded by, and they were very I remember actually going to these stores after school and seeing if the new Garbage Pail Kids were in, because they were supposed to be in and they weren't. I remember it being a big deal trying to get the newest cards when they came out. And this is before internet bullshit. So yeah, they were big, and they started in 1985, but just with fucking children collecting the cards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not going to drive your movie, especially if the movie's only and I guess this is one of those things where there's already a market for it, so let's grab the trademark, let's get that movie, and let's crank that out, and let's just get off. Let's just base a movie on an already established merchandising entity.
Oh yeah, and failed miserably.
Right, but again, 9 times out of 10 they fail miserably because they're doing it just to make the money, and they don't have enough money behind them in the first place. Again, Garbage Pail Kids, horrible special effects, just midgets walking around in costumes. Anthony Newley, digging his own grave apparently, and I mean, there's one thing I saw that was interesting was that Tangerine, the girl that the 15-year-old girl dressed like a whore that the 14-year-old boy keeps making passes at.
I'm looking at pictures of her now. She's still pretty good looking.
I'm sure. And she's dating the Juice, which is like this, like, apparently he's like he's like the ruler of the 15-year-old underworld.
Yeah.
Which
I love the opening of the film where they're chasing him down and he walks over. He goes, "I don't have any money juice." He goes, "Baby gonna cry." It's like, what the fuck?
They've got this gang that they're supporting by rolling 14-year-old kids for their lunch money. How much money this guy banking in a day?
Yeah.
Even when he takes the money that Tangerine makes selling clothing, and like they show him like leafing through it, it's tens and fives. It's like, I've got my near the end of the film when he's at this gala show, he's on the phone. Yeah, when the shipment gets over the border, make sure they goes right to the warehouse. It's like, what's this guy smuggling? Fucking scrunchies? What the fuck? This guy... It's like the weirdest. There's like no. They don't even try. They're like, yeah, all right, whatever. Yeah, he's a gangster. We're just gonna make him sound like one. He wears a jacket and a tie. Does he wear a tie? No, he wears a jacket and like the shirt underneath.
Right. He looks like a total douchebag. He kind of looks like the main villain from Cyborg.
He's trying really hard to be Johnny, be Greco.
Richard Grieco.
Richard Grieco. I always say Johnny Greco. I don't know why. It's just Richard Grieco.
Because you're combining Johnny Depp and Richard Grieco, I think you're just
I am, because those two
them up.
Came around the same time period. Yes.
Richard Grieco, he joined the cast of 21 Jump Street when Johnny Depp kind of he was on the cusp of leaving. And then he had his own spin-off show from 21 Jump Street.
He did?
Yeah.
Johnny Depp?
No, Richard Grieco.
Okay, I was about to say.
Yeah, it was like L.A. What the hell was it called? L.A. something, and they played
Pop Rock.
Billy Idol version of L.A. Woman by the Doors. I gotta find out what it is now. Richard.
Now, one thing I saw in the trivia for this movie was that Tangerine and the douchebag guy, what was his actual name? Juice. Played by Rob McCaughan. Apparently, they were actually dating during the filming of the film, and they broke up halfway through. So the Garbage Pail Kids destroyed a relationship.
Yeah, not surprised. Not surprised.
You think he got too much into the character? He became Juice. It was horrible. It took us years to get him out of it. He was such a veteran actor. He invested himself in the character of Juice, and it drove Tangerine away.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
I think he wakes up at night, in the middle of the night. Tangerine, where are you? Oh, that ship has sailed.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. All right, Richard Grieco.
So Dodger works at this antiques store, and Anthony Newley owns it. And there's this very special garbage pail that you're not allowed to tip over, and it's very special, and no one should be allowed to touch it. So he leaves it in the middle of the show floor. And then one day he decides it's better to put it on a high shelf on the very edge, and it gets tipped over, and these ugly children come out. And
Booker. The show was called Booker.
Booker.
Yeah, he was
Booker's the good cop.
Dennis Booker, and then he got his own spin-off show called Booker.
Did Booker ever appear on Hooker? T.J. Hooker?
No.
Hooker and Booker?
No, but he went on to do If Looks Could Kill right after that, then the show Mobsters, or the movie Mobsters, which took all of the mobsters, but they made them all they were played all by beautiful people.
That was like Bugsy Malone, but like straight.
Yeah, and he played Bugsy Siegel. I was just like, yeah. And then his career kind of, I don't know. Yeah, it went to shit after that.
Well, maybe it should have. And
oh my God, he was in a Skinamax movie called Tomcat: Dangerous Desires. Oh man,
You know what the
did his
sad thing
career
is?
go down fast?
Because you got these young guys, and in the 80s, let's be fair, all the shows we were watching were complete shit. They were. They were poorly directed, poorly written, they were shit. We loved them, but they were shit. And so they were like, oh yeah, this is like, now I'm a star. And they would go on to try to do real films, but the problem is they suck because they were in shitty TV shows. So the best they could manage is shitty movies, and they made horrible choices, and almost none of them ever got to where they should have, where they thought they should have been, because they thought they were good actors when really they were just shitty TV actors that were very well loved.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot more of these young actors go on to do great things because TV shows are so much better now.
They're completely much better now.
They're better directed, they're better written, and then they're in these real shows, and they're learning real techniques, and they're acting real characters, and they know about depth and structure, and then they go on to do real things. It's like you track, every time we mention like Greco, like Depp is like
Rico.
the rare unicorn that goes on to do real things.
You keep saying Greco.
No, yeah, Greco, whatever. But Depp is like one of the rare unicorns that goes on to do real things, like Greco and what's his name from Family Ties, and all of them. They all just like do a couple things and then they sputter off because
You mean like Michael
they
J.
were never.
Fox?
What?
Michael J. Fox?
No, my demon lover.
Oh, Scott Valentine.
Now, in his defense, he had that tragic motorcycle accident that really took him out of the limelight for long enough where he didn't have the staying power. That's not totally his fault. But again, a lot of these child actors in that time period, this is why you don't see anybody from Full House like starring in their own films anymore, or even fucking Home Improvements.
Right.
Even what's his name, the one that wasn't ugly. I mean, the one that didn't become ugly over the years. Even he couldn't get a real career going out of this shit.
No.
Even look at fucking Silver Spoons. Ricky Schroeder.
Ricky Schroeder.
I'm sorry, Richard Schroeder. It's like, yeah, let me go on NYPD and try to make
He wants to
a
be
real
called Richard?
When he went to NYPD Blues, he's like, no, it's Richard Schroeder now.
Oh, fuck him.
Yeah, well, that was how bad it was to get away from that, and even that was like, yeah, you're still Ricky Schroeder, you're fucked, and it's just.
Why don't you just call me Rick Schroeder?
No, Richard, because now you can't blame him because he's trying to escape this childhood. All these kids ever do is try to look at fucking Screech.
Oh yeah, he went on to make a porno. He was so broke.
And like just his entire, even fucking Danny Bonaducci, their entire lives are spent escaping this child fame that they were never able to live up to, and it was just because they were in shitty shows and never equated that with being shitty actors. They thought they were good, but now we have good shows with good child actors that go on to do good adult things. I would say Addams Family on.
Oh, sure.
What's her name? Ricci. Christina
Ricci.
Yeah. She was one of the first ones like, okay, I'm a real actress because I'm actually starring in stuff that makes a difference. Now, to be fair, she's not a television actress, so it's an unfair comparison.
According to IMDb, he's going by Rick Schroeder for NYPD Blue, not Richard.
I thought it was Richard. Either way, Rick or Richard, it's still not Richie, and that's still what everybody knows him as.
I can accept Rick better than Richard. It's a totally different name.
No one accepted any of it. That's why he didn't do anything after that.
As a matter of fact, he's been going by Rick Schroeder since...
In what?
Well, because it says here, it says...
What? In what? I'm saying. What else has he been in since,
in what?
Yeah.
Well... The first thing where it says as Rick Schroeder is Two Kinds of Love, a TV movie from 1983.
See, the problem is when you peak at 12,
yeah,
and when you peak at 12, you're not even that good. There's no room. And again, I'm not knocking these child actors. It's not their fault. But there's nowhere to go. And the whole fucking system makes them think that, oh, the world is your oyster. It says, no, it's really not. It's really farthest from the truth. You're going to live a life of mediocrity, and you're never going to reach the fame you did when you weren't even trying because you were too young to understand it. And that's the sadness. But now these child actors at 14 or 15, like the kids in Garbage Pail Kids movie, they're starting in TV shows, and they're actually learning how to act with real directors and real stars, and they're doing real things after. That's all I'm saying.
He's still working too.
Yeah,
Although what he's working on right now is Dolly Parton's Christmas of Many Colors, Circle of Love.
Shown only at Dollywood.
And then he did a movie the year before, Dolly Parton's Coat of Many Colors. So he sure loves his Dolly Parton.
What? She has a coat of many colors? She's Johnny Technicolor? What's his name? What's his name?
You're talking about what's his face?
Joseph. Joseph the Amazing Technicolor Raincoat.
That's right.
Raincoat?
Technicolor.
Was it Technicolor Raincoat?
Ooh. It might. Oh.
Want to say it was. You search it because I can't type right now.
Yeah.
It's Technicolor Raincoat, right?
Dreamcoat.
Dreamcoat. I was close.
I was gonna say Dreamboat, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
That makes even less sense than Raincoat. I want to see Joseph in his Amazing Technicolor Raincoat.
Yeah. I'll grab it out of the closet.
Who's rating it? But look at that guy's coat. He's stylish.
It's dreamy.
I mixed that up because my dreams are often involve rain.
Does it really?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
But yeah, so Garbage Pail Kids the movie. They sing in it.
Oh God, la 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 la. It's basically la 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 la.
We do stuff when we work together. I'm a little paraphrasing.
Yeah.
Now, and there's like,
and then Greaser Greg is like, why do I have to do something nice? Blah 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 blah. Fuck yourself. Like, what?
Yeah. We'll carve a discount out of him. Pulls a switchblade.
Yeah.
That's violent. And you know what? So they're gearing it towards little kids or young kids. But holy shit, that scene at the end where they're pulling dresses off of models so they're just in their underwear.
Right.
And let's not forget, the first time that the alligator opens up the lunchbox and there's like eyes and fingers in it.
Right.
I mean, Holly did not share my revulsion. I was like, where did he get human body parts? She's like, he brought the lunchbox with him. That's not the point. He has human body parts in it. And he's humorously trying to eat people's toes. That's not funny. No. He's trying to eat people.
He's trying to eat someone's foot right now.
That's not funny. That's dangerous.
It's totally and you know what? He's running around the room and he's an alligator, and they're like, oh, let's fucking kill this guy, instead of like, wow, it's a walking, talking alligator.
I'll say we let him go.
I say let's kill him.
Yeah.
No.
You know what really upset me is the part where
Elvira comes out at the end?
What?
Elvira's in that scene.
She is?
Yeah.
I missed her.
The one guy we're talking about Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure.
Oh, Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. Okay,
yeah.
That I knew. Yeah.
So
there's Garbage Pail Kids.
Well, I mean, you mentioned the movie, so I
know, but I thought you mentioned Elvira was in Garbage Pail Kids. Like, holy shit!
No. She was even too smart for that. And she's fucking Elvira.
Yeah, I mean, but I just there was just too much dark. Like, what about when the Garbage Pail Kids they're making costumes for Tangerine?
Oh yeah.
So Dodger can get in her pants. Again, very bizarre setup. Yeah, we're gonna help Dodger get laid with Tangerine, and they're making costume and they're making clothing for her because apparently the big market is to drive to weird disco/country dance clubs and sell. Apparently, this is like in the 1980s. They didn't have consignment shops, so you had to buy homemade clothing out of the back of cars outside of dance clubs.
Yeah.
And so the Garbage Pail Kids are making these costumes, and I've lost where I was going with this.
I thought it was like for some reason I thought it was like a parking garage or like a basement of some kind where she was selling the clothes.
That would make a little more sense than outside of a nightclub where everybody's dancing 2 steps to the left while they sang this weird disco country song. But so the Garbage Pail Kids, in order to facilitate the need to make enough clothing for Dodger to give Tangerine so he can get laid, again, itself very fucking creepy. They break into a sweatshop and steal the sewing machines. And I found two. I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know if it was intentionally funny. There are two things about the sweatshop that I thought was hilarious. One, three things. One, they had windows that you could open.
Yeah.
Which, that must be the nicest sweatshop ever.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a breeze going through.
They said the sign said non-union sweatshop.
Non-union sweatshop. It's like, that has to be a joke because I don't know. I mean, because there can't be a union sweatshop. I'm sure that they did that on purpose, but still, I wonder. And then the third thing I thought was funny, there was a help wanted sign on the door.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, technically, I guess the sweatshops are always open for business, but do they advertise that way?
Well, another part that I thought was not funny, but I thought they were trying to go for funny, and I thought a couple was the asylum for the uglies, or
that's where everything got really surreal.
Well, because you had too fat, and then there's Santa Claus in there, But like the ones where they were really messed up were like too crippled.
And a guy had a cane.
Yeah.
And honestly, he didn't look that crippled.
No, if he could sit up, he's probably not that crippled.
Yeah. Now the clown was definitely too silly. I'll give you that.
It was way too silly. But when I saw too crippled, I'm like, wow.
And there was somebody in the too short section. It's like, well, don't the Garbage Pail Kids belong there too?
Yeah, they were in the too gross section.
Some of them weren't as gross as they were short. I mean, they should have been split up.
Like Greaser Greg, he's just a little asshole.
And here's where I felt, again, I mentioned before that if you look up like certain trivia, it'll say it's the only film based on trading cards. Not true. Mars Attacks is another one. I say they should remake Garbage Pail Kids, and Tim Burton should do it. Can't you see Tim Burton? I'll say I have the love-hate relationship with Tim Burton. All I'm going to say is that if he did Garbage Pail Kids, when I saw the Home for Ugly People, I'd believe it.
Yeah, he would do something. He would probably do something with that.
Yeah. I would buy it. I would be like, oh yeah, that's definitely where I would send Ugly People. Yeah, that's it. He would go.
I like when they're going around town and they're just grabbing anyone that they want, and there's a girl in a mask. It's like, you shouldn't walk around wearing a mask unless it's Halloween, kid. It's like, what the fuck? You're just kidnapping children?
One thing missing from this film was Anthony Newley should have been drinking heavily through the entire thing, because I love the part where he says, I never wanted to believe that there would be such a place as a home for ugly people, but I've been turning my head away from it, and it's got to exist. I didn't believe it existed, but we're going to look for it. There's fucking trucks driving around town with home for ugly people on the side of the fucking truck. Guys with nets catching ugly people. Anthony couldn't find them. Anthony was oblivious that there was actually a home. They were probably leaving flyers in his door. Have you seen ugly people? Call us.
And then they gave Juice money for all of them. He's like, here. What did he say? Here's your bounty. They said bounty.
Juice knew enough where he's like, oh, there's a group of ugly people. I know where to take them. Juice knew where to take the ugly people. Anthony Newley didn't. He's too busy trying to figure out reverse music magic.
Yeah,
you're not Angela Lansbury, dude. You're not pulling that shit off. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Yeah, fuck you. But the creepiest thing, again, like Tangerine's in this like skin. Every time you see her, she's like skin. What about the part where she's actually tracing the line of her breast? I cross my heart.
Oh, like it was like right over the nipple. You could see that. Yeah, that's where exactly where it was.
15. I can't take it. Maybe it's because I'm 40-something now. I'm like, holy shit, this is just wrong.
But why does it feel so right?
No, maybe it's because I have stepdaughters that are around the same age. It was like, this isn't even close to fucking right. This is just wrong on so many levels.
I actually rewound it, and I was like, yep, she's totally playing with her nipple.
Yeah. What, Dario Argento? Is that his daughter? What the fuck's going on here?
Sick fuck.
I like the sewer sequence where they show the pipes, and the pipes have cable TV, hot tub,
toilet,
FBI.
Yeah.
No, CIA and IRS were two of the pipes.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they were labeled like that.
Honestly, if the only thing I can recommend this film for is the set decoration. The people that decorated the sets of this had a fucking ball. They're like, fuck this shit. Let's just go. Let's just have fun.
Yeah.
It's like so many. I mean, and if you look at the set for the Antique shop, there's like there's one of the monsters from Trolls. The first one.
Troll.
Not Trolls. What's the other one?
Critters.
No, Ghoulies.
Ghoulies.
There's a Ghoulies in there, and then there's a painting I think that has like from Troll or Troll 2 in it. There's like all this shit from other films like that. And I were watching. Holly's like, that's not art. That's a gasket from a car. Like, shh, it's art if it's on the wall. Quiet. It's like the set decorator. Basically what it is. The set decorators were the only people that had a budget they could work with. They're like, fuck it, yeah, let's go nuts. Everybody else is like special effects. I can make the eyes move in the mouth a little bit, and then that's it. I have no, that's it. We're done. Direction is like, yeah, walk over there, say something. Okay, we're good. Set direction. The set decorators were the only ones that actually could work within the confines of the budget and be happy.
Oof.
And that's including Anthony Newley. God rest his soul, the poor bastard.
I can't believe that this is an HD.
And Anthony Newley, whenever you look up his name, the first pictures that pop up are usually Dr. Dolittle.
Yep.
And he wasn't in Dr. Dolittle. He was like the other guy in Dr. Dolittle.
All right.
But I like to think of him as the Candyman from Willy Wonka, and which is ironic that we're reviewing this film with Anthony Newley, who is the Candyman, because Willy Wonka is dead.
Poor Will.
I know.
Yeah. It's kind of annoying.
It is. It's annoying.
Poor Gene Wilder. I love Gene Wilder.
He was old enough. It wasn't like,
Yeah, he was 83.
Yeah, you see pictures of him from recently? He was old.
He's fucking old.
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to seeing pictures of him like when he was 60, and then I saw a picture of him in 80 something. I was like, oh fuck, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the last thing I saw him in, where I was like, oh, he's starting to get a little old, but he's still Gene Wilder, which was See No Evil, Hear No Evil with Richard Pryor.
And that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, that was like the last. I think it was a little more than that. But that was the last thing they worked on together. I want to say that movie was in like '92. See No Evil, Hear No Evil, or Hear No Evil, See No Evil. I forget which order it's in. I think it's
See No Evil, Hear No Evil. It's 89.
Jesus, 89?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Was a woman?
God damn it, 89. So what is that? That's 27 years old. Jesus Christ. And when he did that movie, I'm like, he's starting to look a little old.
Well, they both were.
Well, yeah.
Richard Pryor was on the tail end of his illness, and Gene Wilder was,
Was that ironically enough when both of their careers kind of came to a halt?
Well, Gene Wilder was working after that, but again, you get a certain age, and I was like, all right, I'm going to relax a bit. Look at how much work Gene Wilder did in his career.
Oh yeah, I mean the guy was doing multiple movies a year.
Yeah, I mean, and Richard Pryor worked way longer than he probably should have, considering his illness.
Yeah.
Multiple, if you count drug addiction, multiple illnesses. So, I mean, both of them survived that long.
You know what's crazy? I'm looking at Gene Wilder's filmography. He only has 37 credits. That's amazing.
For someone as well known, well, he was a very iconic cult figure, I would say. Look, he's in two of the films that people will never forget.
Oh yeah.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and
I would say even more than Blazing Saddles.
Well, I wasn't going to go Blazing Saddles. I was going to go.
What were you going to go with? What, The Producers?
Oh, what's the fucking monster movie?
Oh, Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein. Those are the two.
Yeah.
Those are the big two. Yeah, The Producers, again, great film. He's not really as remembered for that, especially since Mel Brooks had to fucking remake it 3 different times. Cocksucker. Young Frankenstein even though Young Frankenstein is partially ripped off from Son of Frankenstein, it is still, I have a problem with that. It's still iconic. It will never be remade. It's going to be stay the way it was. Willy Wonka, even though Tim Burton failed at that, there's part of the hate relationship. Those two films are iconic. They will live forever. They're a cult. They were cultural cult films. They're not just because when you say cult film, usually like, oh, it's underground. Those are cultural cult films. Those are films that are cults for the mass population.
Right.
Like I would say that The Princess Bride is a cultural cult film. It's a cult film for the masses. Everybody knows that film. Everybody loves that film.
And I said a few minutes ago that Gene Wilder, he was probably doing 2 or 3 movies a year, and it just felt like that. And it's not that at all. There were some years where he did more than one movie in a year, but for the most part, this isn't a large resume. I mean, it's a very amazing resume considering the body of work, but I would swear he was in more than 37 things.
And you know what I will say about
Hell, he was in Yo Gabba Gabba last year as Elmer. I'd love to see that, actually.
Gene Wilder, in a lot of ways, was an unsung Alan Alda. You know what I mean by that is...
He had Alzheimer's? I didn't know he had Alzheimer's.
Everybody that hits 80s has Alzheimer's. Come on.
He died from complications from Alzheimer's.
Right. He was 80-something. You know.
Fuck.
He had a certain age, the brain starts going.
Well, yeah.
You know, regardless. But he was a ladies' man in a lot of his films and with a lot of the actresses in those films.
Woman in Red? I mean, come on.
Women in Red, The World's Greatest Lover, About Time.
Funny
He did
About
a lot
Love.
of films. What?
Funny About Love.
Funny About Love. Was that the one I'm thinking of where he's trying to get have a baby? Or About Time was about it?
No, that was About Time.
That was
no. It was funny. No, it is Funny About Love.
That's what I thought. All right. Yeah, I mean, he did a lot of films where he was the romantic interest. He was the romantic person, and he transcended the whole idea of like the sexy guy. He was the humorous, sensitive, sexy guy, and it really he got married a lot of times, and he slept with a lot of the women that he acted with, and oh yeah, apparently he was like. Is
this all in his book?
Not so much. Not all of it, no.
Which I still want to read his book.
It's worth reading. It's definitely worth reading. It's not as much behind the scenes as it is. Wow, this is that part of this guy's life. This is stuff from other sources too, but supposedly he was a Milton Berle type character.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean by that.
I know what you mean.
And, yeah, Madeline Kahn, Terry
giant
Garr.
cock.
Yeah, apparently Madeline Kahn and Terry Garr alone, he bedded both of them.
Wow.
In the course, and that's part of the reasons for some of his divorces. He was married like 4 times.
He was married 4 times. Mary Mercer from 60 to 65. Mary Joan Schutz from 67 to 80. Then Gilda Radner, which I would imagine was the love of his life because
there's a lot of weirdness in with that. I highly recommend reading his autobiography about the whole Gilda Radner situation.
Really?
There's a lot. She was a very complicated person. He was a very complicated person, and there's a lot. It's not like a Bert and Lonnie kind of thing. It's much more complex than that.
Okay.
Holly herself has a problem with him because of the way he conducted himself after she died, or before her death, and it's a much more complex relationship than what people are used to reading about. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
But
he was married to her from 84 to 89, and then he was married to Karen Boyer from 91 until his death. He was married that whole time, 15 years.
And in between a couple of those, he nailed Terry Garr and
25 years.
Yeah. I'm tired, sick and tired of love. Yeah, Madeline Kahn, he nailed her.
What was that movie he did with her? Was it Honeymoon in Transylvania or Transylvania Honeymoon?
Haunted Honeymoon.
Haunted Honeymoon.
They kind of tried to jump back into into that whole Mel Brooks thing, and it just failed.
You know, that is not available like anywhere.
There's a reason for that. It's really not a good film.
No, it's really not. But it's
really not.
It's one of those films that I watched a lot as a kid. So,
you know what? It was like there was an era for that type of film, and it passed. And I'm not saying it's a good thing, but whether it's movies or books or music or your life, when you try to recreate something 30 years later, it never works the same way.
Yeah.
Unless you're Aerosmith, then everything works perfectly and you're still going good. I don't understand it.
Yeah. Oh,
but yeah, Garbage Pail Kids.
Greaser Greg's teeth just popped up. It's weird.
Who?
Greaser Greg, his teeth, like the mouth was moving and just his teeth just pop up out of nowhere. There's something wrong with the mask.
There is. They didn't have the money to finish them. And the producer, wise man that he was like, "Oh, I figure we'll finish them like during production." Yeah, that happened. I think the storyline behind. I love the best thing in the world is just look at the low budget films and like the special effects gone wrong. The other one I can think of off the top of my head is the sequel to Swamp Thing.
Oh my God, the one with Heather Locklear.
Yeah, because I remember reading in like Fangoria and stuff where they made this suit for the monster, the Swamp Thing monster. They and then the special effects artist said, "Okay, here's the suit," and they said, "Okay, great, we're gone." Say, no, we need to come with you and upkeep and stuff. So, no, we're good. So, it's not. It was like, what? Yeah, so they didn't want to pay them for anything after making the suit, and so they take the suit on location and they're just putting them in it and taking them out, and like it's getting destroyed in the process because there's nobody there to upkeep it and make sure everything's being taken care of properly.
Right.
This is low budget films are fucking awesome when it comes to special effects.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Garbage Pail Kids, very sad movie.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the main plot of the film. Dodger's getting beat up and his money taken by Juice, and the Tangerine is the girlfriend. And essentially, he invites Tangerine into the shop to look at some of the stuff that she can make for her costumes and whatnot, because she wants to be a fashion designer. Juice gets word of it. They kind of break in, and they knock over the garbage pail and let the Garbage Pail Kids out. So they spend the entire film trying to get them back in, all while they are apparently good at making costumes, which Dodger uses to try and get into Tangerine's pants. And
Correct.
Then, somehow, out of some fucking way, she gets a model, a fashion show.
For a department store.
But she gets but even that, she gets a fashion show for a department store, and they make a bunch of costumes for it. But she goes along with Juice's plan to get them thrown in the asylum for the uglies and all of that bullshit. And then they get out, they crash the fashion show, everybody pays, and at the end, she wants to be friends with Dodger there, and he's like, I don't find you pretty anymore.
That's what my favorite part of the whole film was. Yeah, because they play that whole thing with like Mancini gives us this speech like ugly isn't outside, ugly is greed and cruelty, and which is all good. But so it's like this girl, and they have this whole thing where she's using him and exploiting the Garbage Pail Kids. At the end, she's like, "I'm sorry about it," and he pretty much says, and I'm paraphrasing, "You're a whore," and no redemption for the young girl. She's fucked. Her boyfriend has been beaten up and will probably disown her, or she'll spend the rest of her life as his personal slave. And the only goodness in her life has walked away from her because she's dirt.
Yep, pretty much. That actress, Katie, whatever her name is, Bianchi.
15 years old, and her life is over.
And she was born in Mexico, and apparently speaks fluent Spanish, and has done a bunch of Mexican or Spanish television and whatnot. She's still acting, and there's a bunch of headshots on IMDb that shows, like, look how pretty I am kind of deal.
But I bet you Dodger's never spoken to her again.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's the film in a nutshell.
She lost her boyfriend during filming. How sad is that?
Oh, totally sad.
And at the end, and the whole point was the Garbage Pail Kids were looking for their friends, the other Garbage Pail Kids, and they thought they were at the ugly place, but they couldn't find them there. So at the end, they escape, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, they're on their own, yay!" Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, okay." I guess they were setting up for the sequel, which they decided not to do. I don't know why.
Yeah, they really did try for a sequel with, we can't find our friends.
I don't really have any favorite lines from the film, but the closest I come, I think, is like the baby one.
Oh yeah, baby gonna cry. That's my favorite line.
No, the other one with the baby garbage pail kid. Where
Oh,
they're having
it's like,
cocktail.
oh, my tummy hurts.
Yeah,
What'd you eat? Everything. That'll do it.
The most disappointing part of the whole film for me was when Mancini has the alligator. Is like, I want you to take a pledge. I state your name, and I'm thinking, in the back of my head is like,
I'm thinking the same thing. I swear to God.
And the alligator goes, I alligator, and like he says his name, and it was like, and the same, and I was like, I wanted to be angry at you for saying I state your name, and the minute he didn't, didn't say I state your name.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I'm like, okay, I didn't remember it, and he goes, I state your name, and I'm like, he's gonna say state your name because this is that shitty of a script and of a movie, and they didn't. They played it real, and I'm like, alligator.
Right. So there's only two options for that situation. Either the writer said, "Hey, that's too shitty of a joke for this film," forgetting what kind of film they were writing.
Yeah.
Or they didn't understand that they didn't get the joke and didn't write it in. And I'm not sure which is the worst scenario. Either they were too stupid to know the joke, or they were too high and mighty to think that joke was too good or too bad for the Garbage Pail Kids movie.
How does she get like all of this like artwork and shit that says tangerine all over it? I mean, they just throw money at her for this shitty fashion show, even though it's at a department store. She's got
a fistful of 5s and 10s.
And she goes in and she's like, it's like, oh, this isn't your real hair, I hope. It's like she's doing all of these things. Oh, you're not wearing that, are you?
We're watching it. The one scene where Juice is in her apartment, he leaves and smokes a cigarette, and I think Holly's watching. It's like, yeah, she just blew him, didn't she? It's like, stop that. It's a kid's film. He's like, what else did he do? He's smoking a cigarette. It's like, yeah, she probably blew him. She's 15-year-old. She has her own apartment. How's she paying for it? She's blowing juice. You know it.
Let me tell you something. If we hadn't already challenged the movie Streets, that's what I would challenge off of this one.
Well, this one's my challenge, isn't it?
No, it is. But if it had been in my challenge and we hadn't done the film Streets, that's what I would be challenging you.
Well, all right. So, speaking of challenging and rating,
let's rate this.
Do you want to rate this film?
Yeah, what is it at? 2.6 on IMDb?
I'm seeing 2.7.
Ooh.
I'm fine with 2.
2 is fine.
I want to say 3 because the film's not like low budget, but I don't know if that's an excuse.
It isn't. No, this is a pretty bad movie.
I don't know.
2 is a gift, I think.
I feel like we haven't said enough about the film, but on the other hand, I feel like we have.
There's more than enough that was said about this film. I gave the entire film's plot in about 15 seconds.
I'm going to rate it as 2. The film, the highest rating is a 1. Oh, this is weird.
How is the highest rating a 1?
The highest rating is a 1. 43% of people gave it a 1.
Oh, I see. Okay, based on that. Yeah. Fine.
Demographics. Here's some bizarre demographics. The highest demographic is females under 18 at 7 stars.
What?
But only 3 females under 18 have rated this. I'm assuming they're all fans of Tangerine.
Or they're like her daughters or something.
Yeah. Now, the lowest
gotta help me out.
Rating, the lowest rating is males under age 18 to 29. Average of 1.7. So, males younger than us just don't understand this film at all. What the fuck was the 80s about? Now, our group, males aged 30 to 44, gave it 3 stars, which is what we gave it. Would that make sense? No, we gave it 2.
We gave it 2.
So we're a little bit below par. Females the same age gave it 3.7 stars. Again, Now, I would blame it on them having sympathy for Tangerine, but she gets cast aside at the end, so I don't know if that's a good analogy or theory. No IMDb staff has rated this film. You cowards. And everybody else is, Really, basically, age 18 to 29 don't understand the film. Now, here's the weird thing. Females under 18, 3 of them, 7 stars.
That's
Males
amazing.
under 18, 32 of them, 1.3. What's the female attraction for these hipster kids to this fucking film? What is it? I don't get it. It's weird.
I don't know.
Young female girls love the Garbage Pail Kids.
Best not try and figure it out.
There's something weird going on there, and I don't know if I can tap into it.
Too old, too bald, too weird. It's just a nerdy guy with a pencil mustache and what looks like a ballerina dress on.
All I can figure is the females under 18, all they thought the movie was about was a fashion show. They kind of tuned out. They were having like a slumber party, and they tuned out of all the singing parts, but whatever they had fashion up, it's like, oh, that's a nice jacket I like.
Oh my god.
Yeah, though the 2 times they dressed up Dodger, the first time he looks like the general of the gay army, and the second time he looks like a failed Chippendales dancer. Like, what the fuck's going on here?
Oh god, that fucking stupid bow tie.
Yeah, it's almost like the set designers. They had like say, "Hey guys, for $10 extra, will you guys do costumes too?" Sure, fuck it. That's really the only thing I can think of to excuse any of the costumes or clothing that they were wearing.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I dress sets. I'm sure I can dress people too.
All right, so we rated it a 2.
Yes.
We got nothing else to say about this piece of shit.
No.
No. So, challenge for me.
Yeah. Yes.
How? You got to give me something though.
No, I don't. You know what? I'm like aghast that they made a sequel, a remake of the Blair Witch movie. What the fuck are they thinking?
Oh yeah.
right.
They're thinking, hey, it's been long enough. Let's try and make money again.
Anyway, guess what your challenge is.
Guess what my challenge is?
I bet you can guess it in 3 guesses.
Without any hints at all?
Without any hints at all, I bet you can come really close.
All right. Garbage Pail Kids. I don't think it's Mars Attacks.
No.
No. Let's see. Is it Shakes the Clown? I don't know. You said something about a clown before, and it stuck out. It's not Dr. Dolittle with Eddie Murphy, is it?
No, but it is a film that has been mentioned during this show.
What? Not Showgirls. Is it Showgirls?
No.
Okay, good.
You wish it was Showgirls.
No, I just don't want to. This 2.5-hour movie.
It's the time that worries you.
Yeah, it is the time.
It's just 2.5 hours is too much to dedicate to Showgirls.
I'm drawing a blank. Can you
Masters of the Universe, sir.
Oh, you know.
Another children's fascination co-opted into shitty fucking exploitation cinema.
Here's the thing, too. That was one of the films that I was saying, if I was challenging myself to this, I might challenge Masters of the Universe, because it was just the connection for me, and I'm assuming it's the same for you, is that it was a failed children's whatever that was done way too late. It was past its prime when they decided to make a movie.
Yeah.
So that's the connection. You know what? You're right. I should have got that in 3 guesses.
Yes, you should have. Shame, Joey. Shame. And you know what? Long overdue. I think this is a film that we should have reviewed way before this episode. So,
Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's in my collection, to be honest.
Ironically, you also mentioned Cyborg this episode, which was filmed on the discarded sets of Masters of the Universe.
Oh
so that's ironic.
That could be the next challenge after Masters.
It could be.
It could be. Oh dear Lord. All right, so let's go ahead and end this then. It's a good solid show, I think, because we're going to go ahead and do a Strangers episode tonight.
Yes, we are.
Oh yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's get the ending music going. All right, everybody. Episode 219 of Moviesucktastic. As always, thank you for joining us, especially if you joined us live, which is every Thursday at 8 o'clock. Go to our website.
Give or take.
Well, tonight we were 10 minutes late, but yes. Go to our website at moviesucktastic.com. Download any of the shows there. Listen to the show there. Listen live. Watch live every Thursday at 8. Live. Let's do it live. You can also go to iTunes and you can download the show or listen to it as well. If you go there, make sure you leave us a review. We always appreciate it. If you want to email us, the address is themovieguys@moviesucktastic.com. If you want to leave us voicemail, it's 908-514-4470. If you want to go to our Facebook page, it's facebook.com/moviesucktastic. Everything we talk about during the show, from trailers to whatever, is on there. You can go to our Tumblr page at moviesucktastic.tumblr.com. And if you want to do a search for us in your favorite browser, Scott likes Google.
Google it.
You can just do a search for Moviesucktastic and we come up everywhere. Also, don't forget to download the free Android app. Everything is on there. Everything from the show to movie posters to an About Us section. It's all in the free Android app. And there's also an a Mac version, however you want to call it, compatible version of the website as well for all you Mac Apple users. And that does it. You have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
Yeah. Wow, from the Garbage Pail Kids movie? No, I don't.
Baby gonna cry?
We get things done by doing it together. How come it's not a soundtrack to this movie? What the fuck?
There's no budget. I think that's the only song.
No, there's like 3 other songs, including the Garbage Pail Kids song at the end of the movie.
Oh, that's right. There is a Garbage Pail Kids song.
Yeah!
God, that's a bad song.
It is! I need the album.
The album?
Yes.
Sure you do.
Alright, we got to jump right into Strangers, so we'll talk to you guys very shortly if you're listening to us on that show.
We'll talk to you next week, everybody.
Where can they go for Strangers in a Strange Land?
Strangelandradio.com.
Or just go to iTunes and search for Strangeland Radio or Strangers in a Strange Land.
If you go to iTunes, it's Strangeland Radio. No, stop it. You're fucking me up.
iTunes is Strangers in a Strange Land.
It's Strangers in a Strange Land. Just put Scott Wilson and Joey Guida in the search so that you get the right thing.
Right.
And you could also do the same thing in a browser.
Yep.
Or you can go to strangelandradio.com. It's all the same thing. All right,
All right,
everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Are we done yet?
Music's fading out, man. What's wrong with you?
My father's been calling me for the past 5 minutes.
Oh, my God. All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.